coalition government came in May, we were immediately faced with £1.67 million worth of cuts in this financial year. That translated to 1.4 million of that in our children's services, and the director and the portfolio would have had to work at in-year savings of that amount of money. The budget on the 22nd of June didn't flag up too much with councils across the country, but the comprehensive spending review, the headlines of which came out about 3 weeks ago, did. And that's where we started to get the first indication of the likely reductions in our budget from government. We're anticipating that we'll start to get a bit more information and more detailed information about the settlement in early December, I think around about the 2nd or 3rd of December.
I think it's hugely important that we don't underestimate the difficulties that we're going to face this year. We're talking about potentially up to £40 million worth of reduced funding coming from government. A huge amount of money that's going to change the way that we have to deliver services, the type of services we deliver. £40 million. If I told you, for example, every time that we raise the council tax by about 1%, we raise about £1.3 million. So you can see it's a very significant sum of money. Now, that's the bad news. The good news, of course, we've been working over a period of years to try and get the finances of the borough on a stable footing. We've constantly said we don't take gimmicks, we don't take risks with the public purse, and we've built up a tax-free borough. We have an amount of reserves. We think we provide services at a good value, we provide value for money, and we can come on to those details later.
A lot of the things we've heard this evening have been a repetition of what we've heard in many years before, but that in itself is helpful, and it just reaffirms what we've known and thought for a good many years already. But there were other issues that came out. The support around our approach to affordable housing, I think, in certain quarters was very helpful. And the understanding that the issues that we have is important. It's important that people feel part of a process of delivering services, whatever they may be, to whoever they may be. So actually being part of it and the perception that we're creating for local residents of being part of the decision-making process is really important to us. Because we haven't got eyes and ears in every street and every household. No matter how few people turn out, and there was a reasonable number here this evening, it's critical we get the thoughts of people on the ground. We heard from people from Penge, we had people from Orpington, we had the good side, the stories, the not so good side, but it was a good cross-section, I think, of the borough here in Beckenham tonight, and it will all be helpful, particularly the way that we communicate with the residents. And ongoing, I shall do my best to fulfil that commitment around communicating the facts and figures after December the 2nd, and maybe if we can fit an additional meeting in the new year, it seems very appropriate that we should do that.